Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about another Masters of the Universe Classics figure.
Hello.
Hello. This is Geldor. He is actually a figure that kind of got away from me in the original line, and I've recently gotten him on eBay. He is a figure that wasn't in any of the original Filmation cartoons or anything like that. What he is he is a character from the mini comics, and so I really like the mini comics. I remember them as a kid when I was around Audrey's age, and I would get my figures, and the mini comics would come with them, and that was my window into Masters of the Universe, because it was just right before the cartoons were on the air, and I was like, oh, what is this universe about? What's going on with He-Man? Who is this guy? And it was this first run of 8 or 10 little comics that would tell you, who's who, what's the sorcerers about, what's Tila about, and all that. And so there were. She's 7, and I'm in my 40s, and this is how I remember. So Geldor was in one little comic. He was this guy, and basically he was. Well, I'll just kind of read you his bio here. He was Geldor is the ruler of Fudar in the Dark Hemisphere. He became obsessed with finding a way to extend his life after his wife was killed by a dragon attack. He began laying siege to other kingdoms in his ongoing search. One such attack led Geldor to kidnap Torgal, Grand Vizier of Vidaria, in order to locate the mythical secret liquid of life. Vidaria's heroic Prince Daikon sought the help of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Together they confronted Geldor in a stronghold on Ogre Mountain. During the battle, the liquid is spilled, and a great life tree rose up, apparently swallowing Geldor in the process. Months later, Geldor returned, merged with the magic of the tree, and now more powerful than ever. I can't even read today. Geldor brings terror to all who get in the way of his quest for eternal life.
A dragon fight?
But right here, if you can see this, right here, this little image of him, that's how I remember him from the front of the mini comic. So he's fun. I love his axe here. It's kind of like this big rectangle shaped axe, and Eternia is obviously a warm climate. Nobody needs full covering of clothes. Nobody's ever in need of much more than some short pants and maybe just the bare necessities of clothing is necessary on Eternia, obviously. So and you got to show off your muscles if you're always chopping down trees or working out in the Eternian gym. You've got to show off your muscles, obviously, right? So what do you like anything about this figure, Audrey?
Well,
I like his mohawk.
yeah.
And I like how it goes from here and then it leads all the way around, it bleeds in, and see how it goes from here and then it goes around his ears and then it makes his mustache. His hair just keeps going. It's all one complete thing.
I like how he's like this.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got a beef with somebody.
The thing I don't like about it is down here it looks like someone sprayed it with white spray paint.
Yeah, he's a little glittery down there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
I like it.
Okay, so that's Geldor, and we just kind of want to talk about him today, and stay tuned for more of our talking about He-Man toys. Right, Audrey?
Yep.
And what do we say? We say, you have the power. Hello, everybody. So today we're going to talk about another Masters of the Universe Classics figure. This is Beastman. He is one of the first ones to come out in the Classics line, I think around 2008. And I have owned him ever since then. He's pretty awesome. He is, from all the years on the shelf, he is pretty loose in the the knees and the ankles just a little bit, but you could still get some posability out of him. And I mean, if you were in an 80s kid and you loved Beastman and loved He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Beastman looks exactly like he should. This is what you're expecting out of your Beastman figure. And when they came out in with the 2002 era cartoon, he was a little bigger, and for the figure, and even on the animated series as well, and that was fine. I like the idea of that, but I like how most things are in scale in the Classics line. And I mean, look at Beastman's face here. I mean, he's just, that's exactly, I mean, when you think of Beastman, that's what he should look like. I mean, he's just, if this guy, if you're Prince Adam, and you're walking through the jungles of Eternia, and this guy jumps out of a tree at you, I mean, you've peed your pants, right? You are terrified. You're barely going to remember that you have a power sword, right? This guy is going to be so terrifying. He's going to pull out his whip. He's going to be summoning other monsters like shadow beasts or whatever, and he's going to control the situation because he is so menacing. He looks so terrifying that, you know, all of his spikes, his fur, his claws, he's got these nails. He's a beast man. I mean, there's not too much to say about him. He's the perfect minion of Skeletor. There are others. There are other great minions that Skeletor has, but Beastman. When I think of Skeletor, I also think of Beastman. This is the guy. This is his buddy. If they were driving a Trans Am, you know who's in the passenger seat? It's Beastman. And I think Matty Collector hit it out of the park with this figure. He's great, and I'm gonna be hanging on to him for a long time. And another thing I love Beastman for is when I was a kid, I remember he was one of my original eight or so figures I had. So I was that original audience for Masters of the Universe. I was the right age where there wasn't a cartoon just yet. So all I saw was the figures on the shelf at the store. And I saw the box art, and that box art and seeing the figures inside the window of the box, that was enough for me. I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's amazing, and I want to know more. I want to get into it. And as soon as I got them, and I'm not even sure if I could read just yet at that point, but I could make out what was going on in the mini comics, and it was enough for me to get started and know who was bad, who was good. What they were trying to get the castle. They were trying to keep control of the castle. The good guys wanted it, keep it from the bad guys. The bad guys wanted it for themselves. It was enough for me, and I've always loved this property and loved the story, and Beastman's a big part of that. So this is Beastman, and he's fantastic. So there you go. We always say on this channel, remember that you have the power. Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about another Masters of the Universe classic figure. This is Ramman, of course. Ramman is very bulky, as he should be. He came with another head, which is stored away, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's of no interest to me. Ramman with his helmet off is just not how Ramman should look. In my opinion, but to each collector to their own. You put Ramman on your shelf how you want Ramman on your shelf. But I love this figure, and I remember how Matty Collector was laid out was it was just first come first serve. When the figures went on sale, you basically just had to get on there like I think it was 11 a.m. Central Time the day of, and you just had to try your hardest to get on. And I was successful with several, and this was before they went to the subscription model, but I was successful with several, but not with Ramman, so I had to pay a little more later on to get Ramman. That was okay because he was a must-have. He was an original wave figure from the early 80s, 81, 82, and so he was much needed for my collection for classics, even though, you know, I had my vintage ones. So Ramman here, he looks exactly like he should. Now he doesn't, you know, he doesn't have his action figure. He doesn't spring or anything, but he has his axe like he should, and his head can turn, things like that. And he has a little bit of an, not really an ab crunch, but his chest moves out a little bit and stuff. So I just think he just looks amazing. Next to like He-Man or anybody, I actually got Manny Faces over here, and I can put Manny Faces next to him, and you can see kind of like how he might look to next to like a standard figure, like the bulkiness difference of the two. And Manny Faces, of course, was an original wave figure as well. But he just looks like he should. He looks great. Great sculpting on him. And Ramman, in the original animated series in the 80s, he was kind of made out to be a little bit of a dope. But fun-loving, and everybody loved Ramman, and he was actually in a lot of episodes. If you've seen the show recently, it seems like he's in every third or fourth episode, almost all the way through the series. So he was definitely a favorite of the story writers, and like him, Battle Cat, Orko, Tila, Man at Arms, and He-Man are in a lot of episodes, it seems like. But of course, I could be misremembering, but it does seem like there's a whole lot of Ramman. I also want to point out that I love his belt. I love his belt there. It looks great. But in the mini comics that Ramman is in, not only is his color scheme a little bit different, there's some orange instead of red in his color scheme, but he's not such a dope. He's more a warrior that's mind controlled by Skeletor to fight against He-Man, and then he's brought on to join the heroic warriors. There's a fantastic book that Dark Horse put out that's still available. You can get it on Amazon or anything like that. That has all of the mini comics put together in just like one big hardback book, and it just looks great, and you get the origins of a lot of these figures as the story writers and the people who created the figures thought the characters should be developed. And so you not only do you get like the origins of Ramman, but like even with He-Man, here's how He-Man would be, like I talked about in another video. He was there was like Jungle He-Man or Ular, as I talked about in that video, and he wasn't. It wasn't Prince Adam who turns into He-Man originally. It was this other guy who's given these powers to help from the goddess or the sorceress. So, but anyway, back to Ramman. His face looks fantastic. He looks like he's just. It's like, if Ramman shows up in battle, I believe, the evil warriors are going to be just as scared as if He-Man was there. So, he looks like he's just going to beat some dudes up. And that chain armor, the stitching, the muscles, the axe, he's not going to be the one laying on the ground at the end of the battle. I promise you that. So that is Ramman. Remember, you have the power.